Hello, Safna.
Hi, sir. Hello.
Okay. Now voice is clear. Earlier, it was creating echoes. Okay, so many people were commenting over
Really
that. That's
sorry
why
for
I
the
had to
trouble,
start.
sir. I'm really sorry for
Okay,
that.
so it's okay. It was a technical fault only. Uh, Wait, let the people respond. If people respond, then only we will continue. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. Now I think people have started watching. 1 minute.
लगीन करो अपन चैनल थैंक यू आगे
Okay. Now I think we are live.
Okay,
Is it
sir.
okay? Okay. So now we are live. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So sorry to all the people, those who had joined earlier and they could not listen the voice clearly. It was a technical fault only. So again, we will start Safna. Okay.
Yes, sir. We'll start.
So now, as the voice is now it is clear. So we will ask the same question. Tell us something about yourself, Safna.
My name is Safna Nazarudeen. I come from Thiruvananthapuram in the state of Kerala. I have done my schooling from Kendriya Vidyalaya, Perurkada and Kendriya Vidyalaya, Pangod till 10th standard. From 6th to 10th standard, I studied in Kendriya Vidyalaya, Perurkada. In plus one, in 11th standard, I wanted to take humanities. So I
Okay.
came and joined Kendriya Vidyalaya, Pangod. I did my 2 years of schooling there. After that, I chose economics for my graduation, and I did my graduation from Marivanius College again in Thiruvananthapuram. I graduated in 2018, sir. It was in 2018 that I decided that I'll prepare for civil services 1 year. I did my preparation for 1 year, and then I gave my examination on June 2019. That was my preliminary examination date. So I cleared the prelims. Then I gave my mains examination in September 2019, and my interview was on 23rd July 2020. The results of which came on August 4th, 2020.
Okay. So means just you cleared your graduation in 2018, and after that you have cleared UPSC just within a year. Means it is something like a dream comes true journey. Okay. So
Yes. Yes.
when you achieve something like that, it is something very surprising for everyone. Even for you also, I think it was very surprising. It might have been
Yes,
very surprising because yes, we do
sir.
the hard work, but we accept something like that. Okay, expect something like that. So how was your reaction, and how was the reaction of your family members when they heard about this result?
Like you told, sir, it was first a very surprising moment. One of my sirs called me and told that you have got 45th rank. I couldn't believe it. I asked him, sir, please check the list again. He said Safna Nazarudeen, and he told, yes, it is Safna Nazarudeen. You have cleared it. So that was a very shocking moment. That was my first reaction because I didn't expect this rank. In fact, I was praying that my name should be there in the list in that 829 people were there in the list. I was hoping that at least the last rank would be there. Like I'll get at least the last rank. And when I got 45th rank, I was so surprised. So along with that, I was happy because this was my dream since a long time. Uh, in fact, so 8th, 9th standard, I wanted to be a civil servant. At that time, I had no clarity as to what an IAS officer does or what is a job of a civil service. But all I knew was he or she was somebody who had the capability to bring change in the society. So that was my aim. And finally, when it became a reality, that was a very happy moment. My parents were happy. So along with happiness, it was actually I was going through a mixture of emotions. I told you surprise, happiness, then grateful. I was grateful to a lot of people because so many people had been there throughout this journey. A lot of people, my friends, family, teachers, everybody had helped me, supported me, guided me. there would come many tense moment when we would worry about whether we are going to clear this examination or not. And in every such moment, these people were with me. So thankful to them. So these were my reaction or my emotions when I came to know that I had cleared this examination.
Okay, so really, it's very, well, it's feel very happy to listen such type of things. Okay, so you have achieved this in very young age. 23 is when people just start thinking about their career. Okay, because so many options are there after graduation, and in the same age you have cleared UPSC. Okay, so when did you decide that you will go for the civil service or you will start preparing for the civil service examination?
So this was a dream since long. I told you from some eighth standard, I wanted to be a civil servant. The reason was social science was my favorite subject, and I told in the earlier session when it got disrupted, I was speaking about this. Premlata ma'am was my social science teacher from 6th till 9th standard. So she used to teach me that there is a social and political life textbook which you would definitely be knowing and teaching. So that is a
Yeah,
very
yeah, right.
interesting textbook which had stories of lots of people. I still remember
That's okay.
she had me the story of pavement dwellers, the Bhopal gas tragedy. These were
Yes, yes.
situations of issues which had created an impact in me, which made me realize that we are a privileged lot. We have lots of luxuries which we do not realize, sir. And there are so
Right,
many
right.
people who do not even have half of our privileges. It was this realization that created that desire in me to become a civil servant. Later, when I thought about the diversity of work, the different areas that I would be able to work in, the change that I could bring in, everything motivated me to finally come into the service. The final decision, I have decided to go for to give my examination right after graduation during April 2018. During April May 2018, I was thinking about whether to join for post graduation or to join for coaching or to prepare for this examination. Uh, I wrote some 2 3 PG entrance, post graduation entrance test. But then, sir, this was a goal, ambition, dream, everything since long. So I thought, why not start young? Because even if I went for PG, after PG, I would come here. So I thought I'll start it young.
Yes, yes, and finally it proved that you had taken a good decision. So
Yes.
one student Harsh Goswami is asking that, ma'am, what is your board exam percentage? Class 10th and 12th percentage.
Percentage. So 10th, I got a 10 CGPA 10. Uh,
Okay,
in 12th, 97.8 percentage.
okay. So you had got 10 CGPA in class 10th, and after that you told that you had opted for the art stream, humanities.
Yes, sir.
So how was your marks in maths and science in class 10th? Was it
So
good?
I had yes, I had good marks in maths and science, but I enjoyed studying social science. Uh, I uh,
Okay,
I never enjoyed studying. See, I had good marks in maths, but I never enjoyed studying maths. For me, it was very difficult to do the problems to learn the formula. But on the other hand, I
okay.
enjoyed reading social science. So that is the reason I chose humanities because I love the subject.
Okay. So one thing I would like to ask you, Sapna, that when the students get past up class 10, after that they have so many confusions that which stream they should opt, whether science or commerce or humanities. What would be your suggestion that what should be criteria for choosing this any stream, whether it is science or commerce or humanities?
So I think we should choose a subject which we have interest or we would like to study. I know many people who had not taken humanities or art subject because of the pressure from family or saying that arts thing, but students wanted to take art subject. One advice I would give to everybody is study something that you like, you love, and you want to read more about. This has been my motto throughout. I had even in my higher secondary, in my graduation, I chose subjects that are of my interest, which I would like to read about, know more about, and that would be my suggestion. I'm not taking everybody to take humanities at all. If your favorite subject is maths or science, then choose that subject. If you wanted to be an engineer or engineering is where you have your skill, choose that profession. But do choose something that in which you want to excel, in which you want to really do well.
Okay, okay. So means interest is the most important thing according to you before opting for any stream, right?
Yes, so because studying is a process, and we enjoy it only when we love the subjects that we study. Otherwise, it becomes a boring process actually. So I
Right,
think
right,
you
right.
have
It's
to
become
choose a
boring.
subject that you have interest in.
Yes. So, Safna, you have studied from the Kendriya Vidyalaya, right? So,
Yes,
what
sir.
role KV has played in your success?
Kiwi had played a major role. In fact, I am the person. See, you are seeing me as this person today because of my schooling at KV. The first thing I would remember about KV is the morning assembly. So, while we are in schools, we would think, why are we having assembly every day? But believe me, sir, the moment I passed out, I was done with my schooling. The thing I missed the most about was our morning assembly. We realize the
Morning
importance of
assembly.
that. Yes, sir, we realize the importance of that assembly only once we get out of school. So that's the first thing I want to tell about KV. Whenever people ask me about KV, this is the first thing I tell them: the morning assembly. Then, so KV had uh, made me respect people. KV made me understand the diversity of this country, the integrity. I had very good teachers throughout my schooling days. In both my from since my sixth standard when I started my schooling at KV till my 12th, my 11th standard, 12th standard teachers at KV Pangod. Every single person had made me the person I am today. They had inculcated in me the values. They had not just taught me humanities, what humanism is. My teachers, the friends that I got from KV, everybody had influenced me at various stages of my life. So KV
Hmm.
was a life changing time. The time I spent at KV was really life changing one.
Okay. So, KV is not only for the academics, but extracurricular activities like debate, quiz, or sports activities.
Yes, sir.
So, did you participated in such type of activities during the school days in Kendriya
So if
Vidyalaya?
you ask my teachers or my friends, they would say I'm a very quiet person. In fact, a kind of introvert person. It's only now that I'm interacting like this. During my school days, I was very quiet person. I always had this fear of coming in front of people and speaking. So I generally used to stay away from co-curricular activities, but I had participated in social science exhibition. That was one area where I would participate every year. Every year I would make a model for our social science exhibition.
Okay.
Then I had participated in youth parliament.
Very good.
Then I was I was a house captain for 1 year. I was a house captain. So that year I used to coordinate a lot of events, but generally I used to shy away from debate, speech, and such areas.
Good, good. Means you have participated in extra activities also, right?
Yes.
Because most of the time we see that students say that if we will participate in some extracurricular activities, it will disturb our education. But you prove that it is not like that. Okay, so
No, no,
good.
I don't
It is
think
something.
extracurricular activities
It
will
is.
distract you. In fact, that make in extracurricular activities inculcate that leadership skills in you. In fact, I now wish
Very
that
good.
I had participated in more programs back then.
Good, good. So, does this participating in extracurricular activities? How does this improve our personality? One, you told
So,
that leadership quality. Apart from that,
leadership qualities, then you will get that confidence. You will see a lot of people. You will get the opportunity to interact with different people. uh, that is
Mhm.
that's a very novel idea actually. See, when you interact with different people, you get to know their opinion, and your diversity of view. That's something I always like. Love to hear views of different people. You grow when you come to know when you get to know different people's view, so your perspective change. These are the things that I think that we gain by participating in extracurricular activities.
Okay. Many students are asking here that when should we start preparing for the UPSC if they want? Like some students are in class 9, 10, and they want to become an IAS officer. So when they should start the preparation, and
Uh,
how
so
they should start?
so one thing they can do while in school in 9th, 10th or 11th standard, 12th standard is they can read the newspaper daily. In fact, newspaper is the most important resource or the most important resource that I have found useful throughout my preparation journey, because so a civil servant had to be aware of what is happening in this country, in our country, in the world around us. So newspaper is the biggest resource for that, and the biggest boon when you have started reading newspaper from a very young ages. When you really start your preparation, you will be knowing the background history. Say somebody starts reading newspaper from now on, they'll get to know what is happening in our country now. And some 3 years after, when they really start the preparation, they have a background idea of so many things. So you have a base
Right.
already. You have a solid base. You just have to build above that. So that is the advantage of newspaper. So I would tell them, read newspaper, then study the NCRT books. See, the first thing that I started preparation in 2018. The first resource I read was the NCRT textbook from 6th standard till 12th standard. So the textbooks that we are studying now, we are going to study these again at our age of like 21 or 20, 21, 22, 23. We are going to read these textbooks again. So concentrate on your NCRTs, study those diligently, read newspaper, and if possible, some magazine also. This would be my advice for them now.
Okay. So one very interesting comment is there for you. I have put it on screen. Once house captain in KV will be now district captain. How do you feel?
That's such a sweet comment, sir. I'm so happy,
Ah,
delighted to hear that.
yes, school captain to district captain. Nice caption. Okay. So one more question is there from Nupur Mishra. She has asked that for a mathematics student, it's a little bit confusing whether we should go for UPSC or not, math student, because syllabus of UPSC is very vast.
So it does not matter. What I believe is very important in the preparation journey is, once we start our serious preparation, that I started in 2018. From that moment, I had given my full effort, full time to preparation. I had been consistent throughout this journey. So if you are studying maths now, or commerce, or any other subject, it does not matter. Like I told earlier, all that matters is your interest. If you are interested in maths, continue studying maths now. But since civil services is your dream, you can read newspaper and NCRT social science textbooks from now on. And after your graduation, when you start your serious preparation, then from that point, identify areas that you are weak in. If I personally take my examples, I'm weak in science and tech areas. So I had given a bit extra concentration on those areas. I used to make small notes like what is the difference between DNA and RNA virus, what are the ISR omission, difference between GSLV and PSLV. So these are the things that I had to do because I am weak in science and tech. So if a math student find history difficult, then when you start your serious preparation, put some extra effort in history. Start with ancient history, analyze the things that start with ancient history from Paleolithic age till where our ancient history period ends. Make note of that. So identify your weak areas and work according to that. It does not matter whether we take maths or science or commerce or humanities. In our school days, in your school and college days, study things that are of your interest. And once you start your serious preparation, then correct accordingly.
Right, right. Means doesn't matter that which subject you have opted. If you have some desire to crack, you can go with the syllabus, right?
Yes, sir. Every person had some
Okay,
strong areas and some weak areas. So we have to
right,
correct
right.
our weak areas. That's all the thing that matters.
hmm So Vasudev Anil has asked a question that how did you deal with the pressure of studies at school and college?
Um,
Did you ever feel the pressure of studying at school and college? If yes, then only
so,
you answer.
so I have not faced that, but pressure during school and college, I didn't used to feel that pressure. But I started preparing civil services, there were so many pressure points, there were so many tense moments. But in school and
hmm
college, all I have to tell you is, talk to your friends, teachers, parents. That is what I have done always. I used to talk to people who are very close to me. I used to tell my concerns to them, and they used to console me. Then I used to self motivate myself. That is a very good strategy because motivation from outside is not sustaining enough. Like it get it wears off once. After some point, the people who motivate us, the outside motivation gets over. But once you self motivate, it sustains for a long period of time. Personally, I'm a person who writes diary. So I used to write in diary all my concerns. When I'm tensed, I used to write pages like I'm worried about this thing, I'm confused whether I'm going to clear this examination. And then at the end, I convince myself that you have come this far. These are your positives. These are the areas you are very good at it. Think about the positive aspect and shine. You are going to do it. So these are the things that I used to tell myself. And self motivation is a very good idea. I believe self motivation works.
Okay, so students should be self-motivated, not motivation. They should not get the motivation from outside only, right?
But a mix of that.
Self-motivation is
Outside
important.
motivation should be there, but you have to motivate
Ah,
yourself.
it cannot sustain for the long time. Okay, so one question we will take. Shirin Sheikh. She has asked, what is your tips, ma'am, for class 10th student? This year it is
So,
very something very strange year for the students those who are in the board class, right? So what will be your
so
suggestion for them?
since you are in 10th standard, I would ask you to concentrate on your 10th academics because this is one life changing moment. There are different life changing moments. 10th is an important class because we are having board examination. So I want everybody in 10th and 12th standard to concentrate on your academics. But every day you can take some half or 1 hour to read newspaper and prepare, do something of your interest. Other than that, I would ask them to concentrate on their 10th and 12th academics, because we have quite a lot to study at that age also.
Okay, so they should focus on their board exam. Okay, so one question will take Abhishek Kumar Pandey. He has again asked, ma'am, please share your study timetable for preparation of civil service exam. We can discuss this later. I think we will discuss this question, but for this point of time, we will keep it in wait. Uh, how many hours can we study in class 10? Concern of many of the students.
It
How many hours?
depends. It depends. The study hours depends on how much hours our focus, like how many hours are we being able to sit concentrated. Then it depends on, for some people, uh, with first or second reading things get clear. For some people, three, four readings or multiple revisions are required to get the conceptual clarity. So it depends from person to person. After your school hours, definitely you have to put in your effort or sit and study for some 4 hours daily. That would do.
Hmm. Four, at least 4 to 5 hours, right?
Yes, sir.
So how you stay motivated? What was
Uh,
your motivation behind studying?
uh, Behind study, how I could sustain my preparation, that's a question, right? One thing I
Right,
used to
right, right.
tell myself was, during civil services preparation there were a lot of moments when I felt so sad, tensed. Uh, every uh, every such time I used to tell myself, remember why you started. So I had a
Why
strong
started?
objective of why I wanted to be in the service, and that was my source of motivation always. When I got like less mark for prelims test series, we used to take mock tests before our original examination. When I used to get low marks, I used to tell myself, remember why you started, and then work accordingly. If you have a strong objective, if you have a strong dream, then you will work. And if you are really passionate about it, it doesn't matter. You might face any. You will be ready enough to face any hurdles.
Okay. So we should remember why we started things. Okay, one more question. I only have dream to crack IAS. I am very weak in science, but I am the topper of social science. I am humanities 12th and had started preparing, which is the best degree, sir. So I think
Uh,
he is following your path till time,
yes.
till the moment.
Yes, sir, he's following right path. Again, I would ask you
Ah,
to take degree in humanities. We'll be studying history, political science, economic, geography, social science, sociology. Which is your favorite subject? Take that for your degree. I took economics again because Joseph Paul sir taught me economics, sir, in plus one and 12th, in 11th and 12th. Again, he used to bring so many current affair events to explain even very simple concept. He would be explaining about inflation, and then he would bring so many recent example. He used to explain Indian economy in a very beautiful manner. So I started liking that subject, and that's my reason for taking economics. So which is the in humanities, which is your favorite subject? Take that in your degree.
okay. So in before clearing class 12th, one should know about their interest area and in which subject they are interested, so they can follow that one. Okay.
Yes.
So how can we stay away from the any diversion nowadays? So many options are there to divert, like social media, mobile, or many things are there. How one can should focus? How one can should focus over the study?
Sir, I was affected a lot by social media. I used to get distracted. I used to scroll FB post, Facebook and Instagram post always during my college days. So one thing I did was,
Right.
see, we would think that we'll just look at one or two posts, but then we would go on scrolling, and spend some half to 1 hour in front of one social, like in front of FB itself. So I deactivated once I started preparation in 2018. Some 1 2 months into the preparation, I deactivated it for around 1 year till my prelims, till my mains examination. I had deactivated both these accounts because I used to get distracted a lot. But I also know of people who use these social media for fruitful things. People who used to follow PIB or newspaper sites, and then used to get good articles. They used to read good articles, better India articles from these social media, and had made good use of social media. I know people who did that also, but I used to get distracted a lot, so I had deactivated that.
Good. So those who are willing to clear the IS exam, suggestion is from Safna that you should deactivate your social media account at least till the time of
Or if
preparation,
you get
or
distracted,
by,
you get so much distracted, then deactivate. But if you can balance your
then deactivate.
preparation and social media use, then it's fine.
Okay. So if you are not able to control over your mobile or scrolling problem, then you can. Okay. So time management. Okay, we will take it later. Tell us about your hobbies. What was your hobby?
So I used to listen to music. I used to listen to songs, then I used to watch some TV programs. These were generally things that I used to do during my leisure time. Then I love playing badminton. In fact, that is the only sport I
Badminton.
know to play. Yes, badminton is the only sport I know to play.
Okay. So, Sapna, I would like to ask you one question. KV follows NCRT textbook, right? So, how
Yes.
does the NCRT play a key role during the preparation? Because I have seen many students reading NCRT books when they go to Delhi or some other places to prepare for UPSC.
Sir, NCRT plays a biggest role. In fact, we call NCRT the Bible of UPSC examination. Among aspirants, this is what we tell. NCRTs are the Bible in this examination. So why it is, sir? Because in NCRTs, every concept or everything, if we take history or geography or any subject, everything is explained in such lucid, clear manner, and everyone will understand it. You give it a read, you give it a one or two read, and you will get these things, everything in a very good manner. You will get all the important points. You will, if we speak of history, you will get that chronology in the correct order. You will get the important points. And UPSC asks direct questions from these NCRT textbooks. That is the biggest highlight. You will get some one, two, or three direct questions from NCRT textbook. So that is where we have to begin our preparation from. Every single UPSC aspirant begins his or her preparation from NCRTs. So NCRTs really play a big role in this examination.
Okay. So, one question we will take now from here. Uh,
You current affairs.
can you tell us what you do when you from when you get bored from the study? What do you do? I think
Uh,
this is the question they want to ask.
Okay, okay. One thing I used to do was I used to listen to music. The other thing,
Okay.
I did my preparation mostly from. I used to take coaching in an institute. So there is a reading room where we can sit and study. So I used to use that facility. I used to sit in that reading room and study. Whenever I used to get bored, I used to take a short walk. During morning, some 11 o'clock. That is when I start my studies from 8 o'clock. So some 11 o'clock I get bored. So I used to take a short walk then. Evening also, some 5 to 5:30, I used to take a walk, half an hour walk. That is what I used to do generally: listen to music or take a walk.
Take over. Okay. So one question is the ma'am NCRT. Okay, new NCRT or old NCRT? Those who know about the old NCRT, they may have this question: new NCRT or old NCRT? Which one should be preferred?
I had followed the new NCRTs from 6th to 12th, new NCRTs. But two old NCRT books I have used. One is the 12th standard old NCRT by R.S. Sharma. That's the book that we follow for ancient history. And there is one more old
Okay.
NCRT by Satish Chandra. It is the medieval history, old NCRT by Satish Chandra. Again, 12th standard textbook. That is the book I followed from for medieval history. So these are the two old NCRT books I used. For all the other subjects, I use the new NCRTs only. You have to read the new NCRTs
Okay.
from 6 to 12 anyway. That's important.
6 to 12. Okay. So new NCRT they can follow, and some for one or two subject they can follow the old NCRT
Exactly.
also. Okay. So I'm also teaching in Kendriya Vidyalaya, as you know, that I have seen that many students do some notorious things in schools, like asking the permission for washroom, and then they move around the corridors of the school. Have you also done the same things?
I have not done things like that, sir. I told you I was kind of a quiet introvert person. I was afraid to do these things. That's why I never indulged in these things. But now I think I would have done it. But I've never done it. Like I
Okay.
would have loved to do it now.
Okay. Okay. So. Uh, Okay, so many students I have seen in school days, they want to do the preparation for UPSC. Can you give some basic idea about the pattern of the examination, how the
Yes.
exam is conducted, and what are the various things?
Okay. So first thing, this examination is conducted by UPSC. Almost everyone must be aware of that. There are three stages in the exam in this examination. The first one is the preliminary stage. In prelims, we call it in short as prelims. In prelims, we have two papers. There is general studies one, that is the first paper, and the second paper is CSAT. CSAT is the aptitude test. I'll tell the difference between both. In GS paper or the general studies paper, we have topics like Indian history, economy, geography, uh, international affairs, current events, science and technology, environment and biodiversity. These are the topics or the areas that you have to study for the preliminary examination. This paper is called as the general studies paper. UPSC will count the mark of only this paper. The other paper, CSAT paper, is a qualifying paper. In CSAT, you have quantitative
Yeah.
aptitude like average, simple interest, compound interest, the maths questions, the reasoning question like blood relation, direction, syllogism type of question, and then some reading comprehension. This is only a qualifying paper. You just have to get 66.6 out of 200. The first paper, GS paper, UPSC counts the mark of GS paper 1 for to check whether, to confirm whether you are going to clear the prelims or not. So that is the preliminary stage. In the mains, the second stage, once you clear prelims, you have to write the mains examination. In mains examination, we have
Okay.
9 papers. These 9 papers are descriptive paper. So prelims is the objective type question, MCQ type of question. You have to sit and solve it and mark in an OMR sheet. In the mains examination, it is a descriptive paper. That is, you have to write a descriptive answer for all these 9 papers. Every single paper is of 250 marks. It's a 250 marks paper, 3-hour test. And mains examination happens on 5 days. That is, you have to write 2 exams one day, morning 3 hours, evening afternoon 3 hours. So you have to write examination for 6 hours, continuous 5 days. So
Continuous.
that's how it goes. So now I'll tell about the papers. See, for mains examination, there is a very detailed UPSC syllabus, and you just have to study from that. You have to orient your preparation based on that syllabus. What happens is, if you do not understand the syllabus, or uh, then we'll go on studying things that are of no use, or we'll go reading and studying things that are of no relevant in this examination. So for mains, there is a detailed syllabus. What I used to do was, I used to read, I had read that syllabus some 5-6 times, so it is entrenched in my memory, and every time I read newspaper or some article or some resource, I'm able to link the syllabus with what I'm studying, and that is very important. You have to link what you are studying with the syllabus. Why this is important is, see, the examiner who are going to check your paper do not know the hours of the hours that you have put in for studying, or the number of hours or days that you spend studying. They are going to judge you by the answer you write, or by what you reproduce in the examination. So it's very important that you study from an examination point of view, and for that you have to understand what the syllabus is. And UPSC has given a very detailed syllabus. Everyone should go through that syllabus before you start the preparation. That's very must. So the first GS paper, uh, there are 4 general studies paper for mains examination. The first GS paper is GS1. The syllabus are, there is a detailed syllabus. I will not say the subtopics, but I'll tell the main topics. Okay, you have Indian history, You have art and culture, you have world history, you have post-independence India, you have Indian geography, world geography, and Indian society. These are the topics that you have to study for GS1. For GS2, you have to study Indian constitution, governance, social justice, and international relations. For GS3, which is the general science third paper, we have economics, we have science and technology, we have environment and ecology, we have disaster management, and we have internal security. These are the 5 areas that you have to study for GS3. GS4 is the ethics paper. Ethics paper, we have two parts. We have part A and part B. Part A consists of ethical values, some philosophers, some thinkers, and ethical concepts like what is deontology. These are concepts in ethics which we have to study. Part B is case study. What are case studies? Case study would be a situation. The question would be like, you are posted as a collector in this district, you are facing this problem. What are you going to do? These are case study type question. That is the second part B in the ethics paper. These are the 4 GS paper. Then you have an essay paper. You have to write 2 essays. 8 topics would be given. You have to select 2 topics. Out of the 8 topics given by the UPSC, you have to select 2 topics and write essay. Every essay, each essay is of out of 125 marks. So you have to write 12 pages. One essay, 12 pages. The other 2 papers is language paper. You have compulsory English language and then a regional language paper. Regional language can be your native language or you can select Hindi. So that both these papers, the language papers are qualifying paper. Again, UPSC will not count the marks of these 2 papers for the final mains result. You just have to pass these 2 language paper. That is like out of 300, you have to get some 90 marks. That's enough. Now the 2 crucial papers are the optional paper. Optional, you have to select one subject as your optional subject. What is the difference between GS paper and optional paper is, in optional you have to study like honors level. It's more than your what we study for graduation. If I take my optional is sociology. So for sociology, I had to study like the honors level syllabus I had to study. And in sociology, you have to write an answer like you are an expert in that subject. In general studies papers, we write a very generalist answers. In optional, you have to bring in thinkers, you have to bring in theoretical concepts to write an answer. So these are the 9 papers for the mains examination. Once you clear the mains examination, we go to the personality test, or in short, the interview. Before going to the interview, we'll fill a form which is called as the detailed application form. It's just a biodata. It consists of our details, our educational background. If we have work experience, then that, our hobbies, things like that. What we have done throughout our life, we write these things. So for personality test, you will have questions from your DAF. We call this detailed application form as DAF in short. So we will have questions from DAF, then current affairs, then from our background. We'll see, I come from Kerala, so I had questions from Kerala. So you will have questions about your state and why, and some very general question. In interview, in general, they can ask anything, but mostly it will be from your background. So these are the 3 stages of UPSC examination.
Okay, you have given a very clear structure of the UPSC syllabus. Okay, some very interesting comment from Mr. A. Siddiqui. He is the headmaster in my school. He has asked you that, dear KVN, what will you do for a KV student when you will be the chairman of VMC? Because you have passed from Kendriya Vidyalaya in 2015, and before 2025 you will be the VMC chairman of Kendriya Vidyalaya.
So right now I'm not able. The honest answer is right now I'm not able to think of anything. But once I get into that post, I'll think of some creative. Because KV is a very good institution where almost all facilities are there. But I'll think of something very creative, something we can do. We can make children very active. Some creative thing, I'll do it. But I'm not able to think clearly right now.
It's okay. It's okay. Okay. So, Safna, can you tell something? Many students are asking here. Many people are asking here. Those who are doing the preparation right now, they're asking about the book list. Which book they should study? Which all books they should study?
Okay, so first is NCERTs, then newspaper. These are the 2 important resources. Other than that,
NCERT from 6 to 12, right?
6 to 12, sir. 6 to 12.
Okay. Okay.
Other than that, there is a book list. There is a standard book list that almost every aspirant follows. For polity, we follow Lakshmikant. There is Indian Polity by Lakshmikant. That is the book we follow. For ancient history,
Okay.
I told you Old NCRT by R.S. Sharma. For medieval history, Old NCRT by Sadish Chandra. For economics, I have not a book because I did my graduation in economics, so I had these conceptual classes. So I took coaching, so I used to refer that coaching notes, and then I used to prepare current affairs because inflation, monetary policy, these are the concepts that you have to learn in economics. I had decent enough knowledge in these areas, so I didn't buy a book for economics. For environment and ecology, there is a book by Shankar IAS, in which almost every concepts are given in a very beautiful manner. So I followed that book. For geography, I followed NCRTs, and then there is a book by G.C. Leong. The author's name is
Okay.
G.C. Leong. I had followed that. Again, for geography, map is the most important thing. You have to follow the atlas every day. Some 15-20 minutes, you have to go through the map. That's very important because for prelims, you will get 2-3 map questions every year. So for geography, along with your NCRTs, GC Leong, one important resource is the atlas.
Okay.
For modern
So
history,
this, yes, yes. Please continue. Please continue.
okay. For modern history, there is a book, A Brief History by Rajiv Ahar, which is published by Spectrum Publication. So that is a book that generally people follow. Then for science and technology, I did only current affairs because for science and tech, general science questions are very less. We will have questions in biotech, then ISRO missions. The current affair questions would be of most importance. So I prepared only current affairs. Again, current affairs, I used to read newspaper and make notes. Other than newspaper, I used to read daily current affairs by Insights IAS, and then there is a monthly compilation which is published by Vision Eyes. All these are free materials, okay? You just have to Google it and you will get these resources. There is no shortage of resources now. Some 4-5 years back, we had this resource shortage, but now all resources are freely available. So you can download these compilation, Vision IAS, current affair compilation by Vision Eyes. I used to follow that also. For mains,
Okay.
I had not any particular book. What I used to do was, I told you earlier, I went through the syllabus, and for every syllabus, I made notes of my own. After referring some articles, I used to Google topics. Then from these standard resources, I used to make notes.
Okay. So for the current affairs, newspaper plus any coaching notebook notes. Okay, they can follow, I think.
Yes, sir.
So one question is from Mr. Brijbhan Ram. He is librarian in my school. So he has asked a question. Uh, Please tell the role of library in your career and character building.
Library
How a
had
student can
played
utilize the library facility.
so we have one way I utilize a library for my preparation was I used to read. We have magazines in our library, sir, from Outlook or India Today. We have so many magazines. We subscribe so many magazines, and these are available in our library. But what we do is we do not read it. We just go see the library and come back. So my suggestion would be take those magazines, give it a read. You'll enjoy it. You will get to know things in a better manner. You'll read about different people's perspective, ideas. So read these magazines because we have resources. We have so many opportunities and we are not using it at all. So make use of library. I had benefited a lot from library. I still remember while I was in KV Perurkada, my librarian was Wasim sir. In KV Pangod, Darshana ma'am was my librarian. So I had talked to them. I used to take books. Then during school days, I had not read any standard like high technical subject books. So I used to read fiction. The books I used to read was mostly fiction books, but I had utilized the magazines and newspaper that are available at the library. Even during college, I used utilize the library. Most days I used to reach early. My college starts at 9:30, but I used to read somewhere 8:30. At 8:30, I used to reach the college. Then I used to sit at library for some 45 minutes. I used to read these magazines. And these will help you because once you start the serious preparation, you will have that confidence that you know so many things, or at least you are aware of so many things.
Okay. So student can utilize the library. Okay. So I have seen some to some with some students only. Not it is not very common. I have seen when there is free period. Okay. So there are some different types of students in the classroom. Those who ask for the game period during the free period, or those who have some uh, fiction book or non-fiction book. Those which they can study in the classroom itself during the free period. So what would be your suggestion? What How should they spend the time of the free period?
So a mix of both. I would not recommend utilizing every free period to study, but during some free periods you can sit, study, read books, or do your homework. Work. You can complete your notes if you are not regular with your notes. Then you can read fiction books or read newspaper. But then utilize some free periods for games as well. Because I remember while I was in school, we used to ask whenever we get a free period, we used to ask, "Will you give us this as a game period?" I had asked that. So a mix of both. Utilize some free periods for studies, some for your games because games are equally
Game
important.
period.
And one thing I want to tell you:
Okay.
do not yourself or torture yourself at all. Studies be a enjoyable process. You should enjoy what you do. So study
Right.
at the same time, take care of your mental health. Talk to people. Engage in games. Engage in things that are of your interest. But do not deviate from studies. Have a balance of both so that you will remain happy.
Right, right. So one question is there from Abhishek Kumar Pandey again. He asks, how will we have a communication skill like you? Because this question is very important, I feel, because I have seen that students doesn't have very good command over the language, whether it is English or Hindi. So how can they improve their communication skill or command over the language?
So one thing that I have done is I had this communication problem. Everybody will have. Nobody will come with a good communication skill at all. And
Right,
what is the importance
right,
of language? Language is a link. What you are saying, the other person should understand. So you should be able to convey your ideas. That is the use of language. And how can you improve it? One thing is first is build your vocabulary. You should have decent enough vocabulary, the knowledge of decent enough words that I used to prepare from newspapers. Whenever I used to read newspaper, there would be so many words that we have not even heard of. I used to these words, search the meaning. Then I try to use these words whenever possible in my essay or whenever we have an opportunity to write something. So I'm not asking you to write some 10, 20 words every day, but you can learn two words every day, and that is possible. Learning two words every day
that is
is not a
possible.
big task. Just two words, you just have to Google it, you'll get the meaning. Even you can now it's easily available. You will get sentences, how to use these words in sentences also easily available. So learn one, two, or three words every day. 1 to 3 words every day, and then you will have a very good vocabulary. So that's how you build vocabulary. The other thing is start to communicate. You will be able to speak in a fluent manner only when you start communicating. Uh, Again, I'm not asking you to speak in English from morning till night. Every day, some half an hour, you can talk to your friends or you can talk to yourself. Try saying some answer. Ask yourself a question. Try answering that in English. Believe me, this is a journey. Every single person will have so many difficulties or weak areas, but we should put in that effort to correct it. And that is the most important in any journey, any process. For communication also, that remains the same. Just work on your skills and it will get improved. It will be improving, definitely.
Okay, so practice makes a man perfect, right? So here is a very
Exactly.
good question from Mr. N.K. Soni, principal of KV Rajgarh, Madhya Pradesh. He has asked the children, those who are talented but they belong to the poor family. So sometimes they stop their studying due to the financial problem. And if they have dream of becoming an IAS officer, how can they pursue it?
So one thing is, in most states now, government is giving facilities for civil services preparation, sir, for students from poor financial background. Scholarship are given by government, and for that matter, some private institutes are also giving. So we have to make them aware of these schemes or these facilities. What happens is many times students are not available of the opportunity. So many scholarships are available. We have to publicize this so that students get motivated and they make use of the scholarship. The other thing we can do is, uh, maybe in every district, people who have this interest in teaching, in voluntary teaching, we can find a group, we can make a group of these people. For that matter, we can include IAS officers or teachers, headmasters, every single person, or people working in private enterprises. We can make a group of every person who is interested to do this voluntary work and provide coaching. So many ways are available, sir. We just have to search for it.
Okay. So they can be self-dependent over themselves if they have the financial problem. This is what I think you want to say, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh, okay. So now I will like to come to your experience. How was your experience in interview? What type of question they ask? Because we have seen that many types of questions are moving around the internet on Google. That this question was asked in the IS interview, like how many buttons are there in your shirt, uh, like what is the number of the bus uh, or auto through which you came to give the interview. So what type of question are being asked in the interview?
My interview experience, it was a mix of questions that I know and that I don't know. They are
Okay.
My panel members asked me some questions, personal questions, which I could answer. The first question I had was, why social science after 10th? That was my first question.
Okay.
Then is economics a social science? Then they asked me some Kerala questions from Kerala to comment on Kerala tourism, to compare the Western Ghats Committee report on Kasturi Renkan and Madhav Gadgil report. So these questions I was able to answer. Then I had questions from Northeast, some 5 to 6 questions from Northeast about the industrial development in Northeast. Then they asked me Kaladan multi-model project, the security issues in Northeast, historical background of Naga insurgency. These were the kind of questions that I could answer. Then I had some questions which I had to say I don't know, like impact of average revenue per unit on telecom sector. I had no idea. I said him, I don't know, sir. Then he helped me. He said, okay, I'll tell the 2 schools of thought regarding this. You can choose. Then he explained me that. Then they asked me about the functioning of Competition Commission of India. I just had a faint idea about it. So I said him, sir, I have a faint idea. Can I answer? And he was like, yes, you can. So I told what I knew. Then there were questions like functioning of CBSE. Then what you will do to address malnutrition in India, then my area of interest, then my dream job. These were some, so it was a mixed experience. Some questions I could answer confidently. Some questions I had to. I said I don't know, and there are so many misconceptions about the interview. People think that they'll stress us. It's not at all a stress experience. They're very good people who just want to know you. They just want to know what we have become in this 23 years, or are you capable enough to manage a district? They'll definitely ask questions that we are uncomfortable answering, but the motive behind that is not to stress us at all. They just want to check how you handle a situation. So I had questions that where I had to say I don't know, but I remained calm throughout the experience. But after the interview, I was confused. I was thinking, I said so many I don't know what will happen. But they are checking that personality, how you will respond, because it's very normal, sir. They are people with some experience more than that of our age. They have like 30 plus years of experience, and 5 people with 30 plus years experience is like cumulatively some 180 years of experience is sitting in front of you. Definitely we will not even have half or quarter of that knowledge. That's very understood thing. So it's okay.
Right. Okay, so one doubt every aspirants have, that whether we should go for the coaching or not for the UPSC examination.
Okay, sir. So there are two thoughts regarding this. I am a person who took coaching because after my graduation, I was confused about what to do, whether I'll sit and study, and I needed guidance. So I took coaching. But sir, I know a lot of people who had cleared this examination without coaching because, like I told you, sir, now resources are available. Many resources are available, freely available in Google or internet. For that matter, PDF. So many files are available. So I know of people who had not taken coaching and sit at their home and worked on. So it depends upon our comfort, sir. If we want to take coaching, if we felt that need for guidance, then we can take coaching. But there is no rule that only people who take coaching will clear this examination. There is no rule like that. Because every year so many people who had not taken coaching, who had done self preparation, are clearing that too with very good rank.
Okay, so coaching is not that much important as people emphasize over that, right? So, okay, so once people decide that they are going to prepare for the UPSC, what should be their timetable? How should they start from the scratch?
Okay, so sir, I have not followed a very rigid timetable, or I have not said like from this time to this time you have to study this. What I used to do was I had a plan every day. Morning I would morning no like the previous day itself I used to write, okay, July 1st I'm going to study these many topics. What I used to do was every day I used to cover a certain portion of the syllabus. And the benefit of that is you will have a clear track of what amount of portion you have completed, how much you have to study more. So that is what I used to do. I had a complete plan as to what I should do. I should be doing every single day. So I told you I started with NCRTs. For the first 3 months, I covered my NCRTs. After that, I
Okay.
referred my standard books. Till some October, I read standard books. Then I started taking prelims test series. I oriented my preparation depending upon that test series. After every test, I made an analysis of how much I have studied, how much I have not. And again, on that basis, I used to work. From some November 2018, I started preparing for mains as well. uh, I went through the main syllabus, and for every single topic in main syllabus, I wrote some points. I note down examples, statistics, government schemes, everything I used to prepare. For then the next 2 months, from January and February 2019, my examination was in June 2019. So Feb 2019, I prepared my optional. Those 2 months I had devoted my optional. I used to write optional answers, again revise, write. So that was the thing that I did during those 2 months. The next 3 months, March, April, May, was completely devoted to prelims because prelims is approaching. Prelims is on June 2019. You have to clear prelims in order to write mains. So that 3 months, again, I had covered almost every prelims topics from June itself. So during the last 3 months of prelims, I used to revise. I used to take so many tests to check whether I'm getting this question right. So that is what I did during this 1 year time. Again, make a plan, because with planning you will be in a better position to analyze yourself. I told you this is a process where you grow, where everything changes, where you get to know about a lot of things. You get a better clarity of things that you already knew. So if we have to analyze how much we have grown or what changes had happened to us, then we have to track us. For that, planning helps. So this is what I did.
Okay. So one question I would like to ask, that writing skill, because this problem is faced by the school students as well as those who are writing the competitive exams. Writing skill, how one can improve the writing skill?
So again, practice makes one perfect. The first answer I wrote, it was a very below average answer. There were not good points at all. But so we will be able to write a good answer with practice. There is a structure for an answer. You have to write an introduction. There is a body. There is a conclusion or a way forward. Again, every mains question is an analytical or critically thinking question. They will not ask us to write a short note on anything. The question would be like to analyze something. There would be a statement, then critically analyze the statement. These are the type of question you will get for mains. So with how do you make that analytical, or how do you develop that analytical thinking? For that, we have to write and find what are the advantages for every issue. We have to find that what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, how can we correct it, solution. These are the type of mains question you will get it. So you have to practice a lot of answer writing. From November 2018, every day I used to write some 2-3 answers. And once my prelims got over, uh, the number I used to take mains test series also, where 3 hours, for continuous 3 hours, I used to write the 20 answers. That is the exact exam pattern. I used to try it beforehand itself. So this is a process where you have to uh, improve your every skill. If you are weak in writing skill, practice writing. Then again, take feedback. There might be I told you, so a lot of people had helped me in this journey. I used to give my answer for correction, and then I used to take the feedback. Okay, what I could have done better, how could I have modified my answer. So one thing I used to do for my answer writing was include a lot of examples and case studies. When we give examples, the examiner they have a better clarity that yes, this child knows the answer. So I used to include a lot of examples. If in Hindu, like I used to read the Hindu newspaper, so there would come so many case studies, initiatives, and government schemes. I had already made a note of all these things, so I used to use these things in my answers. Then I used to draw for geography, international relation question. I used to draw maps. That's very important. Again, this year means we had question about agro processing industries. So I had drawn an Indian map, marked the agro processing industries. There was a question on coral reefs. I drew the wall map, then mark the coral reefs. So every such thing you have to practice beforehand. You have to mark, you have to uh, learn to draw a map. That map has to be drawn within some 15-20 seconds, because the time you get to write a mains answer is 7 minutes. Within 7 minutes, you have to read the question, you have to write an answer. So you have to develop all these skills by continuous practicing.
Okay. So, okay, one comment is there from the Mr. Nand Kishore Soni, Principal KV Rajkar. He has said that may God give you all the happiness and abilities. So he has wished you a good luck. Uh,
Thank you
okay,
so
he
much,
wished to
sir.
get a chance to work with you. Okay, so
Thank you so much, sir.
okay, so in last, Sapna, I would like to ask you to give some suggestions for the future aspirants or the students those who are still in the school. What would be your suggestion to them?
My suggestion, sir. Uh, I had so
Yes.
many questions. Like so many people asked me how I could clear it in the very first attempt. Things that I told them was, one was consistent preparation. Once I started studying, from June 2018, I had been consistent in my preparation. I'm not asking you to sit and study 17 hours. That's impossible. And but what you have to do is consistent, honest work of 7 to 10 hours every day. Uh, and it is not you do not, it is not like you work for 1 or 2 day or 1 or 2 week. You have to work every single day for some 2 years. From the day you started till the day you find your name in that result, you have to work with the same energy, same motivation, same desire, and this is what we call as perseverance. Or you have to keep yourself motivated and do the same thing again and again. Read and revise the same textbook or notes. So have that consistency. For that matter, have that consistency even in your school, in your 10th, 12th, or in any standard. Be consistent in your studies. The second thing is, identify your weak areas and work on it. One of my weak areas was interview, sir. I was so afraid to speak. Before mock interview, sir, we take before the original interview, we take mock interviews. In my first mock
Okay.
interview, I was not able to say any answer. I had some very simple questions like, how do you revive Indian economy? I knew the answer, but because I was so tensed, I couldn't say anything. And that was a very low moment, or a moment when I felt so sad. But then, after coming back home, every day I used to practice in front of mirror. I used to say answers. I asked my friends and teachers to ask me a question. I used to practice saying answer in front of them. So I knew that was one of my weak area, and I had corrected that, or I put in effort to correct that. So every person will have some potential. Some areas we might be lagging. Find those areas, work on it. That would be my second suggestion. uh, yes, these are the two things that I would. And then nothing is impossible. So many people say that civil services is an examination that you cannot crack. It is a very big, it's a wrong thing. Every single person, if you put in the right, honest, and passionate work, you can clear it. You do not have to be super brainy to clear this examination. All you have to put in is real hard work. Understand yourself better, because the more we know ourselves, the more we'll be able to put in the right effort. So analyze your strength, weakness, and put in the real work. Then find and understand the examination, what the examination is about. Understand what UPSC is going to check. Read the syllabus some 5-6 times. You can read it several times, so that you are thorough with the syllabus and you know what to study and what not to study. Again, this is very important. Otherwise, we'll deviate from the path and we'll keep on reading things that are not at all of relevant for this examination. So do these things and everything is possible.
Okay. So I think that much was that is all from today's talk, Safna. Some people had wished you good luck in the first video, which we had disconnected, which we
Oh,
had to disconnect because of the not so good network. One was Mr. YK Solanki. He is principal of my Vidyalaya, and he has wished you good luck, and
thank you
he has
so much, sir.
congratulated you with this great success. Uh,
Thank you to everyone
so
who had watched the session, who had wished me, who had blessed me. I'm so thankful to every single person. Thank you for all the love and wishes.
thank you so much, Safna, for giving your precious time. I know because you might have been very busy these days uh, to give the
Thank you
time.
so much for
Uh,
having me, sir. This is the first time I'm talking to KV students. I had done some session earlier, but that was one for my college, then one for some other institutes. So this is the first time I'm talking to KV students. So I'm very happy. Thank you so much for having this
Okay.
session, for having me in the session.
Thank you, Safna, and I wish you very good luck for your very bright future and do something very good for the society that we
Yes, sir.
can recall and we can say that yes, I know this girl and she has done something very tremendous for the society, and KV will proud of you. Uh,
Thank you, sir. I'll definitely be honest and work to my best ability always, sir. That's a promise.
Thank you. Okay,
Thank you,
okay,
sir.
Safna. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Okay.